Hi lovelies, hope you guys are doing well. Today I come to you about something I've been living with all my life. And as I grew older, it has become harder and harder for me to deal with it. And it's different than I was a kid. I have attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So what is that? It's basically a diagnosis that health professional give you based on some of the symptoms you face, and it has to be diagnosed by a trained professional. And I was always sidetracked. I used to get sidetracked easily as a kid, and it would be hard for me to have focus on anything. And as an adult, some of the things that I have to face, or challenges I have to face, is impulse control, disorganization, and problem prioritizing. Poor time management skill, problem focusing on a task. If I'm working on a task at work, I easily get distracted, and trouble multitasking, and I'm always restless, and I go through extreme emotions, and I have very little frustration tolerance, and I have problem following through and completing tasks, and trouble coping with stress. More stress I have, anxiety, and it just aggravates everything. And as a result, I have poor communication issue, and every people have different ways of different symptoms. Not everybody will see that. Not everybody will have the same symptoms of ADHD. So what causes ADHD? According to the Mayo Clinic, while the exact cause is not clear, research is still going on, and that factors that may include genetics. It runs in family, environment. Certain environmental factors increases your risk of ADHD, like lead exposure, and developmental problems like problems with this central nervous system can cause. And risk factors for ADHD is when you have a family members blood relatives who have issues with mental health. If we're exposed to environmental toxic, and mainly found in paints and pipes of old building, and you were born prematurely. So what are some of the complications of ADHD? It includes I'm getting sidetracked. It includes poor school and work experience, performance, unemployment. People who are in the extreme of those, they go through unemployment, financial problem because it's hard to keep track of your finances, trouble with the law because you get distracted easily, and alcohol. People deal with anxiety due to ADHD, and it is related to alcohol and other substance misuse due to using it as self-medication. Frequent car accidents and other accidents because they are so distracted, and poor physical and mental health, and having poor self-image, and suicide attempts. These are all related to mental health, coexisting mental health condition. People with ADHD, they have mood disorders, anxiety disorder, which I have, other psychiatric disorder, for example, personality disorder, and learning disability. And what are some of the ways I have learned to cope with ADHD? Is number one, I write everything down. That is key for me. because otherwise I will get sidetracked. If you look at my desk, it has sticky notes everywhere with things I have to do, or I have to do in the long term. So it just reminds myself. I have a template I will attach where I have to follow, which I have to follow in order for where I write down my top priorities, things I'm grateful for, things I have to do, to-do list, and even the exercise and self-care. Those I have to write it down, including what I ate, or what I'm eating, planning my meals for the day, meals and snacks, and also jotting down, making sure that I drink plenty of fluid. And another problem with ADHD that I have is social skill. I often have social difficulties dealing with interpersonal relationship problem because of my inattention, impulse, hyperactivity, and it can have an outcome on emotional pain. It can cause emotional pain and suffering, and as a result, it leads to anxiety and depression. But I have learned one thing that has helped me a lot is mindful based meditation. And you have seen in my vlog, I have added videos of meditation, staying calm, breathing, and I'm linking it there on the top. Just click on it if you want to use it for helping you. I deal with all that when I'm doing mindful based meditation. It helps me stay grounded, focused, and bring me back to the present, which is key to having some kind of normalcy when you're living with ADHD. And at the same time, even when I'm eating, I get distracted, and I may eat really fast, and then that has an effect on my digestion, and I am so distracted that I don't even pay attention to what I'm eating, and then I am overeating. So that causes health issues too. You become overweight. So I try to follow mindful-based meditation and mindful eating. This way I am enjoying that moment of eating, and it makes me more satisfied and less hungry. And then it is a lot of people, 25% of individuals like me, they deal with chronic loneliness. In order for you to interact with other people, you have to be attentive. And this is where mindful meditation helps me too, because deep breathing. When I'm talking to somebody, I take deep breath, which brings me back into focus, in the present, and I can pay attention to the person. Excuse me. And I also repeat what the person is saying. This way, not only I am paying attention, but at the same time, I am. So being mindful also helps me with interaction, and being mindful helped me with conversation too. It's taking deep breath makes me aware of the present, and I can focus on the body language, being mindful of the tone of the voice, and look at someone's eye to better understand what they're trying to project. And at the same time, I try to repeat what the person is saying, and taking a deep breath also prohibits me from or it stops me from trying to finish the sentence the other person is saying. And that's why mindfulness, breathing, interaction is some of the way I deal with attention deficit disorder. Writing things down, it also not only helps me with the interaction, but not only helps me keeping on track, but also at the same time helps me focus and pay bills and stuff. And then I have issues with impulse control. So in order to control that, one thing I do a lot is put things out of sight. And there's a thing, out of sight, out of mind. For example, I get easily sidetracked, and I have an impulse issue of buying stuff. So what I do is any email that comes in, it automatically, I put it in unsubscribe and into my junk mail, so I don't have to look at it. When I don't look at it, there's one less distraction I have. And when I'm driving too, I do not turn on music, and I'll go into detail later in future videos. And another thing that I do is dealing with meditation. Of course, meditation I do. And first interaction, mindfulness, meditation, writing down everything, then automatically marking stuff into spam folder. I label stuff because otherwise I will lose or misplace the item. So I have to be organized, and I label everything so I know where things are and I can find them easily. And the last thing I do is I train my brain by doing puzzles. It also helps me keep focus, bring focus, and fires up my synapses, and it just helps my brain stay focused. I do Sudokus, I do word searches, I do those on my phone a lot, and it helps me with training my brain and staying organized. So these are some of the stuff that I do to help me with ADHD. I would love to know what helps you deal with ADHD, what works for you, what doesn't, and what are some of the things that you would want me to talk about in future videos. Until then, happy viewing. Bye.